Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. And as always, we'll start with EVE Online, and I would say that I've had an average good week in EVE Online. I spent a decent amount of time in the game, and I especially took my Ishtar for some exploration rounds. And despite the fact that it's very busy around Detail when it comes to exploration, I'm seeing lots of Ishtars, lots of Stradioses, lots of Helas doing the same thing. I managed to find a reasonable amount of good combat sites, especially the 3 out of 10s were quite available, and I got some pretty good drops out of that as well. So overall, I would say that I've had a good time with my exploration and that it's been very rewarding as well. Next to that, I have also been going with the blueprint copy business, of course, something that is going insanely well. I'm not sure why, but I'm selling out in just a couple of days at this point, and prices are going up. I think it is still the potential war in 0.0 that is just creating a storm of buying at the moment, especially the larger ship, BPCs, carriers, dreadnoughts, freighters, all of those seem to be selling like hotcakes, and prices are definitely going up as well. But even the structures are up in price and are in pretty damn high demand. I've got some extra BPCs that I haven't sold before in Jita, and yeah, I've just been using those as well. We've been getting incredible amounts of sales through the contracts of the BPCs, which is very good news, of course. I love to see that happen. Next to that, I also did a little bit of mining after the forward operating base that was present in Detail either was removed or just came to it the end of its lifetime. I'm not sure which of the two it was, but yeah, got back into my Orca a little bit, did a little bit of mining, cleaning up some extra belts, and we also blew up 2 chunks at the moons in Detail because we now have 2 moon bases with drills that are active. It is not very useful at the moment, but on the off chance that there are still some players that check it out and that want to mine the stuff that comes from moon mining in Detail at this point. That's why I keep it going every 2 weeks. There's now 2 belts that I create for players to try and enjoy. I know that it is not worth a lot at this point. I'm basically losing, I think, a lot of ISK on just fueling those structures, but they've been fueled for a very long time at this point. I'm not going to min-max any of that. And I know that this is also on the radar from CCP. It was mentioned in the dev blog that they will keep an eye on things, and that potentially they'll make changes to the industry needs that use these types of items in order to try and increase their value. So it may actually be worth it to keep that activity going and to hoard those special minerals for moon mining, or that come from moon mining at this point. I haven't done too much mining of it myself because it is super bulky. It's very annoying to have to move it, but I'm still making it available every 2 weeks, at least I try to. And then, of course, we have quite a bit of news that dropped last week, specifically those new proving grounds that are coming to the game. They should do so in about 10 days, so that's going to be pretty exciting as well. Can't wait to take a look at it on CC, specifically the mass test, because from what I understand, you quite often need to have a team at this point, and that's something that, well, we'll need to figure out how we want to do that, how we want to explore that new feature. But it is something that I felt was going to come to EVE Online once they came out with the Abyss, and specifically the current proving ground where you have to go through the PvE part of the Abyss, and then you have a chance at finding an extra gate that can get you into a PvP conflict. Not exactly my cup of tea because it's like super expensive ships, and the meta is basically solved, and it's not really what I would consider to be a rewarding experience. But getting that direct filament for the PvP action, of course, would was very likely to be the next step, and it looks like CCP is now developing that. I think that the upcoming weeks are going to be dominated by that one, the new proving grounds, and of course potentially the war in 0.0 that may be heating up. That could get very interesting as well. Next to EVE Online, I also played a little bit of X4 Foundations, continuing to basically try to build up a stronger economy for my split character, which is very doable once you get out of split space, but in split space itself it's actually a little bit annoying because they keep going after every combat ship that you have, which includes your scouts. So that's actually been something that I've been very patiently doing, is I've been exploring the split systems in a small transport ship rather than a very fast scout. So that takes quite a little bit of extra time, but you can park auto miners in the systems with refineries and they start building up reputation, earning you credits as well. And of course what I've been doing, rather than putting down lots of smaller stations, I've actually been building up the headquarters, trying to get that to produce a lot of different stuff. Got some miners going for that, got some transport ships going for that. And what I've found to be very interesting is I'm now using 6 transport ships to trade for the basically the warehouse where you stock all of the building materials needed for the construction ship to build up your station the way you want it. That works surprisingly well. So in all of my previous playthroughs, what I did, I was constantly giving orders to a number of transport ships to bring in the hull parts, to bring in the claytronics and everything that's needed for that, which meant that I also ended up with a massive surplus of those items that I would then move to the next station, and then we would just repeat that. Now all I really need to do is put in the credits, and then those haulers will actually start trading with those credits, and it actually they're able to bring everything in by the time like another production facility is done or something like that. So it's pretty damn easy to maintain that without needing to micromanage it, which is very, very helpful just effort wise in the game. But I've been going pretty passively, just building up all of the blueprints with all the credits that I've been earning, and building up a single structure, which is of course the headquarters that you get for free right off the bat. It's not very good at this point, but it's starting to build up lots of different stuff. Then I'll need to give it credits, I'll need to build up the drones there. Perhaps we'll add some habitat modules as well to increase the efficiency, but that's basically the experiment there. Get those headquarters to do as much as I can handle, and I have like 46 miners, auto miners going around all different systems that are helping me with the reputations, of course, which then unlocks ships, unlocks blueprints, all of that good stuff. And then I've got a couple transport ships that are just working for that new structure at this point. But it's been going really well on the one hand, right? I'm building up, I've got a decent amount of cash flow as well from my experience, so that's all pretty damn good. But it's also not the most entertaining phase of what I'm planning to do in X4 there, so don't really have any videos or too much interesting footage or anything like that to show, outside of maybe a couple of Xenon patrols and things like that drop by from time to time. But at this point I also have some defensive ships around the headquarters, so it's all good, but it's definitely in the build-up phase, and we are not ready to tackle more and different stuff in X4 just yet, so the sharing of it is rather limited. Which is why I also went back for some more Dota Underlords, the auto chess game that's free to play, that I feel is fair, one of rather few free to play games that are actually fair, because you always get the full lineup regardless of how much money you spend in Dota Underlords, so your chances of winning are just as good as a free to play player as they are for someone that has actually spent money on the game. I enjoy it, especially the knockout mode. In a casual way. It's just 15 minutes for a game. You can do a couple of games and try to get one of those daily challenges done, and it's something that for me personally also helps me just with the creation of content, because it's basically a goal that I've been able to maintain for a rather long time. That is, I want to create one video every day for the channel, and it's not always easy when things have slowed down a little bit in X4 Foundations, and when in EVE Online, well, we've been going for a very long time, so it's not always easy to find new topics, to find new stuff to cover in the game. And as a result, I'm happy that there are some games out there that I enjoy playing that is basically based on shorter rounds, stuff that you can very easily get in, get out, make a little bit of content, make a video, get that up on the channel, and there we go, we've got another day covered. I enjoy that process, and so that's how I basically enjoy those types of games from time to time as well. Right now it's Dota Underlords, but we also have other games that I enjoy. Hearthstone potentially, although it's been such a long time that I think it would take a massive amount of time and effort in order to get back into the meta or anything like that there. But we also have Overwatch, we also have quite a few other games, perhaps even Heroes of the Storm, games like that are basically based on rounds, where a full game is a full experience, which is of course not something that you have with EVE Online, with an MMO, or with X4 Foundations, which actually feels very much like a sort of a single player MMO at the time. So I'm falling back on that a little bit just to give myself some breathing room. I hope that you guys actually don't mind that. I know that they're not very popular, but that's really not the point for me. I enjoy the whole process of playing games, making videos, and trying to entertain at least some people that way. And so Dota Underlords is part of that equation for me. It's basically an outlet for me to allow myself to buy some time as well. And that was my last week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.